Under the overcast skies of Donetsk, at dawn on May 27, an unmanned aerial vehicle, the Bayraktar TB2, operated by Ukraine's 14th Regiment, silently patrolled at 19,685 feet. Its advanced electro-optical camera swept over the low hills near Horlivka, where relentless warfare had scarred the landscape. Deep craters from artillery strikes, charred husks of tanks and armored vehicles, and churned earth from continuous bombardments. Real-time imagery, relayed to a command post hidden in dense forest 31 miles away, revealed an unusual target: a large self-propelled artillery piece, camouflaged under netting, flanked by 3 ammunition trucks and a group of 6 soldiers moving nearby. Ukrainian intelligence analysts, after scrutinizing the drone's footage, confirmed the target as an M1989 Koksan, a 180mm self-propelled howitzer of North Korean origin, a rare sight on modern battlefields. With its 180mm barrel, the Koksan can fire 176-pound shells up to 25 miles with standard rounds, or 37 miles with extended-range munitions, at a rate of 2 to 3 rounds per minute. Mounted on a modified T-62 tank chassis, it moves at 25 miles per hour on flat terrain, but has thin armor, only 0.8 to 1.2 inches thick, sufficient to deflect small arms and shrapnel, but vulnerable to precision strikes. Lacking integrated radar or self-defense capabilities, it relies entirely on Russian air defense units for protection. The Koksan was positioned in a narrow gorge near Horlivka, shielded by low cliffs to evade aerial detection. Russia's air defense network in the area was formidable, featuring the 1L-219 Zoopark-1 counter-battery radar, capable of detecting low-flying targets at 25 miles with 164-foot accuracy, located 1.9 miles from the Koksan, and the Pantsir S-1 air defense system, equipped with 12 57E6 missiles, Mach 3, 12-mile range, 49,213-foot ceiling, and twin 30mm autocannons, 5,000 rounds per minute, positioned 3.1 miles away. This posed a significant challenge, requiring flawless coordination for any attack, but offering Ukraine a chance to strike a blow against Russian and North Korean forces. The unit commander immediately convened drone reconnaissance and M114 HIMARS rocket teams to devise a destruction plan. The command post, concealed deep in a camouflaged forest in Donetsk, consisted of tents covered with infrared blocking nets to avoid detection by Russian drones or satellites. The tents were scattered under thick tree cover, powered by solar generators to minimize thermal signatures. Computer screens flickered, illuminating the tense faces of officers and technicians. Colonel Alexander Mikola, the unit commander, stood before a large digital map where red markers denoted Russian positions and blue marked Ukrainian forces. Imagery from the Bayraktar TB2 showed the Koksan nestled in a gorge flanked by cliffs 66 to 98 feet high, leveraging terrain for concealment. 3 ammunition trucks, each a KAMAZ 5350 with a 6.6-ton capacity, carrying about 50 180mm shells and 0.2-inch armor, were parked 164 feet from the howitzer. 6 soldiers, likely the Koksan crew, inspected equipment using dim flashlights to avoid detection. A BTR-80 command vehicle with a 10-foot radio antenna was spotted 1,640 feet away, indicating a platoon-level command unit. The Zoopark-1 radar, 1.9 miles away, scanned every 10 seconds, linked to the Pantsir S-1 via encrypted communications. The challenge was clear: Any HIMARS rocket, no matter how precise, risked interception by the Pantsir S-1 without a diversion plan. Over the next 72 hours, the 14th Regiment's team crafted a detailed plan in 3 phases: intelligence gathering, deception, and attack. The strategy drew on experience from prior operations, notably the destruction of another Koksan near Bakhmut in February. Intelligence collection began immediately after spotting the Koksan. 2 Bayraktar TB2 drones were deployed continuously, flying at 19,685 feet to evade Russian radar. Each Bayraktar TB2, weighing 1,433 pounds, with a 27-hour flight endurance, was powered by a Rotax 912 engine, 100 horsepower, and equipped with independent GPS/INS navigation. Its 4K resolution electro-optical camera, capable of detailed zoom from 6.2 miles, and AES-256 encrypted data links resisted Russian electronic warfare systems like the Krasuka 4. Daily 12-hour reconnaissance flights captured every movement of the Koksan and its support vehicles. Imagery showed the howitzer shifting 656 feet daily, but remaining within a 1,640-foot radius of the gorge. Reconnaissance teams used 3D image analysis software to map the gorge's terrain, identifying optimal firing angles and potential withdrawal routes. Coordinates were triple-checked by 3 independent analyses teams to ensure accuracy. Scouts also noted a Russian infantry unit 1.2 miles from the Koksan, with about 20 soldiers armed with AK-12 rifles, RPK-16 machine guns, and 2 BMP-2 armored vehicles with 30mm cannons, likely serving as a security detail. The deception phase aimed to neutralize Russia's air defenses for a 60-90-second window. The team opted to use 2 Switchblade 300 loitering munitions, each 24 inches long, weighing 5.5 pounds, carrying a 1.1-pound fragmentation warhead, with a 115-mile top speed and 15-minute flight time. Controlled via GPS and onboard cameras, the Switchblade could strike targets 6.2 miles away with precision. They would target a decoy ammunition depot 5 miles from the Koksan, constructed with metal containers and camouflage netting to mislead Russian intelligence. The fake depot, set in an open field, included empty fuel barrels to produce thick smoke when struck. To enhance the deception, a modified Orlan-10 drone, weighing 31 pounds with a 75-mile range, equipped with an ELINT jamming device, would fly at 13,123 feet, emitting signals at 1.5 to 2.4 gigahertz. This disrupted the Zoopark 1 radar scanning for 60 seconds, creating a false signal cloud that temporarily impaired target discrimination. The Orlan-10 was controlled from a mobile ground station in a Ural 4320 truck, 12.4 miles from the combat zone. The attack phase relied on the M142 HIMARS, firing M31 GMLRS rockets, 13 feet long, 661 pounds, with a 198-pound high-explosive warhead, a 50-mile range, and 16-foot accuracy via GPS-INS guidance. Operated by a 3-person crew, the HIMARS could launch 6 rockets in 20 seconds and relocate immediately to avoid counterfire. The system was deployed from a valley 37 miles from the target, shielded from Russian radar by terrain. The HIMARS team, with 1 launcher and 2 resupply vehicles, was ready to relocate within 15 minutes if detected. The plan required rockets to launch within 10 seconds of the reconnaissance team's signal, capitalizing on the brief window when Russian air defenses were distracted. To counter potential GPS jamming by Russian electronic warfare, the HIMARS used a backup inertial navigation system, INS, to maintain accuracy. A 12-person infantry support team armed with PKM machine guns, RPG-7 rocket launchers, and Stinger man-portable air defense systems, 3-mile range Mach 2.2, protected the launch site from surprise Russian infantry or drone attacks. HIMARS technicians verified the GPS/INS guidance, ensuring clear signals from 24 GPS satellites and conducting anti-jamming tests. The reconnaissance team rehearsed Switchblade 300 launches, confirming precision targeting of the decoy site in adverse weather, with 33 foot-per-second wind gusts and limited visibility due to early morning fog. Computer simulations predicted rocket trajectories and blast effects, estimating a 98-foot kill radius and 3.9-inch armor penetration. The unit commander approved the plan on the evening of May 26, ordering execution at 3 a.m. on May 27. At 3 a.m. on May 27, the air in the forest near the HIMARS launch site was frigid at 36 degrees Fahrenheit, with dense fog reducing visibility to 1,640 feet. The M142, camouflaged with netting and infrared suppressing paint, was hidden in a small valley surrounded by 49-foot pine trees, shielding it from Russian reconnaissance. Technicians wearing 6B45 body armor, 15 pounds, resistant to 7.62mm rounds, conducted final checks on the guidance system, inputting target coordinates and verifying GPS signals. All radio emissions were disabled, with communications limited to encrypted fiber optic links with the reconnaissance team. 3 4-person scout teams moved to observation posts 6.2 to 9.3 miles from the Koksan, carrying Switchblade 300, Orlan 10, and Panasonic ToughPad FZG1 military tablets with real-time image analysis software and 12-hour battery life. The deception team, 6 strong, set up mobile launchers for the Switchblade on a low hill 3.1 miles from the decoy depot, armed with AK-15 rifles, foldable stock, 600 rounds per minute, and RGD-5 grenades, 16-foot kill radius for self-defense against Russian infantry. From the rear, the colonel monitored operations via screens linked to the Bayraktar TB2. Real-time imagery showed the Koksan stationary, with its crew inspecting munitions. One KAMAZ 5350 truck moved slowly south, possibly for resupply, but remained within the gorge. The Zoopark-1 radar operated normally, scanning every 10 seconds, while the Pantsir S1 stood ready, its missile launchers elevated at 30 degrees. The commander ordered, "Initiate deception phase." At 4 a.m., 2 Switchblade 300 munitions were launched from mobile platforms, flying at 328 feet, using the hilly terrain to avoid radar. Traveling at 115 miles per hour, they reached the decoy depot in 2 minutes, diving at a 60-degree angle and detonating their fragmentation warheads, producing 2 large explosions and a 66-foot smoke column. The Zoopark-1 detected the strikes, relaying data to the Pantsir S1, which fired 2 57E6 missiles at Mach 3, neutralizing the decoy targets in 15 seconds. This distracted Russia's air defenses, leaving a gap toward the Koksan. Simultaneously, the Orlan 10 emitted 1.5 to 2.4 GHz jamming signals, disrupting the Zoopark-1 and Pantsir S1 data link for 60 seconds, creating a false signal cloud that confused radar target identification. The scout team signaled via encrypted channel, window open 90 seconds. The commander ordered the HIMARS team, prepare to fire. At the HIMARS site, the launch commander checked the control panel, confirming target coordinates and GPS integrity. The HIMARS launcher elevated to 45 degrees, loading an M31 GMLRS rocket. The system locked coordinates in 8 seconds, displaying coordinates confirmed. The launch commander shouted, "Fire!" A deafening roar followed as the rocket streaked skyward, leaving a 164-foot fiery trail. At 328 feet, the M31 GMLRS followed a parabolic trajectory, reaching Mach 2.5, 1,864 miles per hour. Its GPS/INS guidance adjusted continuously, using 24 GPS satellites to maintain 16-foot accuracy. The rocket covered 37 miles in 48 seconds, piercing low clouds at 32,808 feet, evading the Zoopark 1 radar, still focused on the decoy site. The Pantsir S-1, its radar distracted and missiles expended, failed to detect the incoming rocket. For added security, the scout team triggered another 30-second Orlan 10 jamming burst, extending the disruption to 90 seconds. The M31 GMLRS began its descent 3.1 miles from the target, diving at a 70-degree angle. At 6.6 feet from the Koksan, its 198-pound warhead detonated, creating a 98-foot blast radius. The shockwave, with 14,504 psi, shredded the Koksan's thin armor, igniting its 180mm ammunition stockpile. A massive secondary explosion erupted, with 164-foot fireball and black smoke swirling like a storm. The 6 crew members, 33 feet from the howitzer, were killed instantly by the blast and shrapnel. The 3 nearby KAMAZ 5350 trucks, each carrying about 50 180mm shells, were destroyed, triggering smaller 49-foot fireballs. The Bayraktar TB2, at 19,685 feet, captured the scene via infrared camera. Footage showed the Koksan torn apart, its turret flung 328 feet, with tracks and metal debris scattered within a 656-foot radius. Thick black smoke obscured the area, hindering any nearby Russian forces' visibility. From a 6.2-mile observation post, the scout team confirmed the target's complete destruction via real-time imagery. An officer sent an encrypted signal. Target obliterated. Mission accomplished. Immediately after the explosion, the HIMARS team withdrew. The M142 lowered its launcher, moving at 37 miles per hour along a rugged forest trail to a new hideout 6.2 miles away in 20 minutes. There, it was camouflaged with infrared blocking nets and dry soil to mask thermal signatures. Technicians disabled all electronics, leaving only an encrypted receiver for headquarters communication. The 12-person infantry team maintained a defensive perimeter, ready to counter Russian infantry or drone attacks. The scout teams retrieved unused equipment, including 2 Switchblade 300 munitions and the Orlan 10, dispersing via separate trails to avoid detection. One team used a UAZ-469 off-road vehicle, 2.7-liter engine, 62 miles per hour top speed, moving under tree cover to evade Russian drones, while another traveled on foot through narrow forest paths, carrying gear in 13-pound Pelican 1600 waterproof backpacks. Within 30 minutes, all teams reached safe rally points 12.4 miles from the combat zone. Russia's air defense network, though belatedly detecting the attack, couldn't respond. The Zoopark-1 recorded the massive explosion at the Koksan site but couldn't trace the rocket's origin due to Orlan-10 jamming. The Pantsir S-1, having fired 2 missiles at the decoy, lacked time to reload and scan. A Russian infantry unit with 2 BMP-2 vehicles and 20 soldiers arrived 30 minutes later, finding a 16-foot crater and scattered burnt metal and munitions. Dense smoke and the gorgeous terrain limited visibility and thwarted efforts to trace Ukrainian forces. A Russian drone, possibly an Orlan-30 with infrared camera and 5-hour endurance, scanned the area but detected neither the HIMARS nor the scout teams. 5 hours after the strike, the 14th Regiment released Bayraktar TB2 footage, showing the Koksan utterly destroyed, the 5th such system Ukraine had eliminated. The video revealed a 16-foot crater at the site, with burnt metal and munitions debris strewn about. The attack not only destroyed a strategic Russian-North Korean weapon, but also disrupted their scarce 180mm ammunition supply chain, limited by North Korea's production constraints. Tactically, the strike showcased seamless coordination between drone reconnaissance and modern artillery. The Bayraktar TB2 provided real-time data. The Switchblade 300 and Orlan-10 disrupted air defenses, and the HIMARS delivered a precise blow. The M31 GMLRS rocket's 16-foot accuracy underscored Western military aid's battlefield impact. The deception strategy, combining electronic jamming and decoy strikes, exploited weaknesses in Russia's air defense network, reliant on synchronized Zoopark-1 and Pantsir S-1 operations. Geopolitically, the event highlighted Russia's military ties with North Korea under intense international scrutiny. North Korea's supply of the Koksan, with only about 200 in its arsenal, signaled Russia's growing reliance on external allies to sustain firepower in Donetsk. The video, later published by News Ukraine, served as both proof of victory and a propaganda tool, boosting Ukrainian morale and warning adversaries. The Koksan destruction raised questions about Russia's ability to maintain North Korean weapon supplies as these systems face repeated losses. With only a limited number of Koksan howitzers in Russian hands, each loss significantly hampers their long-range artillery capabilities, critical for Donetsk's defensive strategy. For Ukraine, the victory reinforced confidence in advanced technology and tactics, affirming the pivotal role of systems like HIMARS and Bayraktar TB2 in countering complex threats. The attack, though lasting mere minutes, resulted from meticulous planning, precise coordination, and Ukrainian units' courage. From the Bayraktar TB2's hours-long reconnaissance to the tense seconds as the M31 GMLRS rocket tore through the sky, every step was executed with near-perfect precision. This victory was not only a significant blow to Russian and North Korean forces, but also a testament to Ukraine's evolving mastery of modern technology and innovative tactics to gain the upper hand on the Donetsk battlefield.